United States for decades.
Among those variety of reasons, radical Islam might have been one of the reasons that the individuals took the steps that they did.
We see, say, radical Islam. I mean, I think those people who espouse a version of Islam that is not...
Are you uncomfortable attributing any of their actions to radical Islam? It sounds like
No, I don't want to say anything negative about a religion that is not appropriate.
I'm not talking about a religion.
Like
I'm talking about radical Islam. I'm not talking about the general religion.
No, real Constitution-loving, apple pie-eating Americans are the #1 threat to their own country, and 2 + 2 = 5. How and why is that declaration even rational? Vietnam, 1965 to 1972. The Phoenix Program, a CIA-designed and coordinated infiltration of the political infrastructure of the National Liberation Front of South Vietnam, aka the Viet Cong Communist Army.
Force must often precede reason, and the waste of war, the works of peace.
The CIA had been covertly infiltrating Viet Cong strongholds to seek out names on their kill list. One of the tactics included parading innocent Vietnamese citizens around their village with a bag over their head and a leash around their neck, terrorizing all of the residents. The Vietnamese citizen on the leash would then be instructed to indicate which house the Viet Cong informer might live. The next day, the CIA's provincial reconnaissance units would kick the door down and kill everyone inside, women and children included. The CIA's PRU would haul the Viet Cong off to regional interrogation centers where they would be tortured to extract information for the commanding officers, and then the whole process would be repeated. The Phoenix Program neutralized 81,740 Viet Cong operatives, killing between 26,000 and 41,000 of them. Peter De Silva, the CIA station chief, developed the strategy known as counter-terror, the use of terrorism as a legitimate tool to use in unconventional warfare. De Silva strategically applied the counter-terror to unsuspecting, quote, enemy civilians, unquote. Historian Douglas Valentine noted in his important work, The Phoenix Program, that central to Phoenix is the fact that it targeted civilians, not soldiers. Innocent victims of Castro's rounding up of 200,000 citizens during the CIA's Bay of Pigs invasion can't help but see the implications of similar operations inside the United States. After witnessing troops training to intern citizens in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the upcoming Jade Helm operation from July through September of 2015 states that troops will operate undetected amongst civilian populations to see if they can infiltrate without being noticed. With martial law plans that have been in place for decades, the globalist bankers that control our government see the CIA's approach in Vietnam as a benchmark in undermining U.S. sovereignty. In just 14 years since 9/11, unleashing a degradation in the American Bill of Rights never before seen in our 239-year history. The fall of Saigon in 1975 marked the end of the Vietnam War. Communism won, and the Socialist Republic of Vietnam was born. The CIA lost the Vietnam War by targeting the citizenry. With the Jade Helm operations gearing up for the summer of 2015, treason's seat at the table of liberty just got a whole lot bigger. John Bound for INFOWARS.com.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new INFOWARSLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients, extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at INFOWARSLife.com. That's INFOWARSLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
This is the new face of evil. This is what nightmares are made of. Ruthless, cold-blooded killers on a mission to wage war, to annihilate millions of people. We are their enemy, and they will stop at nothing to destroy us. All measures should be taken in our defense, that always will we remember the character of the onslaught against us.
I think it's impossible to say that the Syrian rebels are not associated with al-Qaeda. So there is a great irony that you will be arming forces that a normal common sense use of the word associated can say that these people are associated with al-Qaeda.
But you watch, in typical NATO-U.S. false flag fashion, the Assad regime is going to be blamed or accused of using chemical weapons against the so-called rebels.
There's a global crime syndicate that controls NATO and the major Western governments, and it is using al-Qaeda to overthrow secular governments.
There is breaking news now from the war in Syria, and this could be significant. Reports that chemical weapons have been used in that conflict.
These are some of the scenes now circulating on the internet of distressed children apparently suffering the after effects of a chemical attack. Some of the video footage is too distressing to broadcast, and it is unverified. But there are scores of dead, among them very young children.
Good afternoon, everybody. 10 days ago, the world watched in horror as men, women, and children were massacred in Syria in the worst chemical weapons attack of the 21st century.
The Assad regime, and only undeniably the Assad regime, unleashed an outrageous chemical attack against its own citizens.
After careful deliberation, I have decided that the United States should take military action against Syrian regime targets.
We can tell you beyond any reasonable doubt that our evidence proves the Assad regime prepared for this attack.
I've watched debates in Congress. A congressman asks Mr. Kerry, is there Al-Qaeda? People say they've gotten stronger. He says no. I say officially, they aren't there. The main combat unit, the so-called Al-Nusra, is a unit of Al-Qaeda. They know about this. It's not pleasant for me to see this. Well, we communicate with them and assume that they are decent people. He lies openly, and he knows that he lies.
We're not really positive who set off the gas. I mean, the group that's most likely to benefit from that is Al-Qaeda.
Did President Bashir Assad gas his own people? Not according to a growing number of skeptics, including Alex Jones, syndicated radio talk show host.
I don't know who launched the chemical attack, but all the evidence leans towards the rebels having the motive to do it. And the Russians have put out a new report saying they have proof the rebels did it back in March of this year.
Some people here and there, amazingly, have questioned the evidence of this assault on conscience. I repeat here again today that only the most willful desire to avoid reality can assert that this did not occur as described, or that the regime did not do it.
All right, so what kind of proof is there that the rebels would do this? I mean, the rebels supposedly are supporting the people of Syria. They would actually sacrifice their own people in order to draw America into this war to start World War III?
Well, look, the rebels are made up of jihadis, Al-Qaeda, and some domestic Syrians, but around 60%, many studies show, are Al-Qaeda, are jihadis. They've been wiping out whole Christian villages. So I don't think the rebels represent the Syrian people.
I believe you will not deny the fact that one hardly should back those who kills their enemies and eat their organs and all that is filmed and shot. Do you want to support these people? Do you want to supply arms to these people?
There's a growing volume of new evidence from numerous sources in the Middle East, mostly affiliated with the Syrian opposition and its sponsors and supporters, which makes a very strong case based on solid circumstantial evidence that the August 21st, 2013 chemical strike in the Damascus suburbs was indeed a premeditated provocation.
I would not understand or comprehend that Bashar al-Assad, no matter how bad a man he may be, would be so stupid as to order a chemical weapons attack on civilians in his own country, when the immediate consequence of which might be that he would be at war with the United States.
So we could be looking here at a frame job. Available data puts the horror in a different and disturbing light, meaning it's not Bashar doing the horrible things. It's the rebels nerve-gassing themselves, framing Bashar, setting him up so that the Al-Qaeda guys win, and then we end up on the side of Al-Qaeda, and you've heard that.
So this reeks of a false flag operation.
I can't see fighting to impose Sharia law in Syria. I also can't see sending my son to fight with Islamic rebels against Christians. I also can't see my son going to fight on the same side as Al-Qaeda.
We should be focused on defending the United States of America. That's why young men and women sign up to join the military, not to as you note, serve as Al-Qaeda's Air Force.
أسامة بن لادن يا مرعب أمريكا وقوة الإيمان وسلاحنا البيكا أسامة بن لادن يا مرعب أمريكا وقوة الإيمان.
You've seen what they're capable of doing. I mean, the internet is flooded with videos of their drive-by shootings and beheadings. They are an army of psychopaths, and they've been placed on the grand chessboard for a reason. ISIS didn't happen by accident, and they're not just some blowback of U.S. foreign policy. No, this was intentional. This is a Frankenstein created by U.S. and Saudi intelligence. They're there to destabilize the region. They've become very useful so far.